What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, and, of course, college football fans everywhere? Welcome to the Pig Trail Network. I'm Tyzilla83, and I want to say to you, you rock for stopping by. We're going to talk about Louisville Cardinals. Their very own Lamar Jackson wins the 2016 Heisman. What an award. What an achievement. Congratulations to him and to the Louisville Cardinals. Let's get into the numbers with him really quick. Let's go into Louisville, the football team, before we get into Lamar Jackson, the Heisman candidate recipient, or the Heisman recipient, rather. Louisville would finish 9-3 overall in the season, 7-1 record overall, tied for the best record in the ACC. When you talk about stats, they finished averaging over 300 yards per game. That's top 15 in the country. And they averaged nearly 260 yards a game on the ground. That's top 15 in the country. Points for, 45 points per game. That's number one in the country. And then points against, they finished top 40 with only allowing 23 points a game. It's not bad. But then you start to kind of look at their schedule. Guys, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. This is where I raise some flags here. They'd play Charlotte, who finished 4-8. Of course, they'd win that. Syracuse, they'd win that 4-8. They'd play Florida State, beat them badly. Florida State finished 9-3. Not a bad win at all. Marshall, they'd go on and beat 3-9. Clemson, they'd lose to 11-1. Duke, they would beat, finish 4-8. NC State 6-6. Virginia 2-10. Boston College 6-6. Wake 6-6. They'd win those games. Not very flashy wins. Not very highlight wins necessarily. Then they'd lose to Houston and Kentucky. Houston, who'd finished 9-3. And by the way, Houston beat them by 26 points. Held them to 10 points on offense. Now, I don't know if something was wrong with Lamar Jackson in that game. I don't know. But still, they lost that game. They lost to Kentucky, who finished 7-5. They lose that one 41-38. Only thing I'll say about this is this wasn't as strong of a Heisman year as we thought. I think on the surface, these guys are all good candidates. I just don't think, really, outside of Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, anybody else should have been there. I didn't think Baker Mayfield really belonged there. I know he turned around and had a pretty good game. You look at Westbrook and Jabril Peppers. Good candidates. And obviously, who knows, they may go on to the NFL and explode. They may go on and do great things, have another really good year. But this year, as far as this season's concerned, I didn't think it was a very strong year. Maybe because they were lacking in SEC presence. I don't know. I just wasn't that great of a year for Heisman. Again, on the surface, you've got Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson. If you ask me who I thought deserved it, you know what? Honestly, I'll say this. I'm glad the guy with the less talent around him won. Because we could have made this case for Darren McFadden years ago. Darren McFadden, the sophomore. Who would lose to Troy Smith. You tell me who you thought was the better athlete. I'll tell you right now that Darren McFadden should have won that Heisman. And back then it was because sophomores weren't allowed to win the Heisman. But then, obviously Tim Tebow would break that. But I'm glad that they went with the guy who wasn't surrounded with the talent like Deshaun Watson is. Deshaun Watson, you're talking about Clemson, a team that finishes top 10 in recruiting every year. Louisville, a team that's lucky to finish top 35. So I'm happy. And it's, again, on the surface, I think it's a decent Heisman year. But I think when you really lift the sheets, it wasn't a great year for Heisman candidates. But again, I think the right guy won. I think you could have flipped a coin between him and Deshaun Watson. I do think even if you had the best of the SEC in that category, these two would still finish, in my opinion, head over heels as 1 and 2. Now, you could flip a coin between who would win the Heisman for me. Really, I mean that. I mean, you could flip a coin like we did this year when we were trying to figure out who would win or what games Arkansas would win. I feel the same way about these two. Really, really good athletes. Again, those other guys that were candidates, not bad candidates. They're good candidates, but they're not great candidates. I think that, again, this could have been a little bit better year, though. I think we've had better years in the past. All right, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.